Overtime School of Wrestling, Psychological Skills Training, Performance Planning by Coach Shannon as a part of the Overtime Sports Enhancement Seminars from the Overtime School of Wrestling in Naperville, Illinois, USA. The Performance Plan. The Performance Plan is a culmination of all of the slideshow presentations we've been putting forth to you regarding psychological skills training, and essentially it puts all those things together, all of those ideas together into one complete plan, which we're calling the Performance Plan. Essentially explains what you're going to do, maps out your optimal readiness condition, and helps you perform at your best. Now, one more thing that is of notice, the Performance Plan is a combination, which is a culmination of all the psychological skills training, plus the physical and skills that you've learned in your everyday practice. So it combines both of those types of training to give you the ultimate performance plan. Why is a performance plan important? You can take a look at all of the information on there, and ultimately it must be practiced, refined, and used consistently every day to maximize performance. Again, the performance plan is your psychological skills training plan plus your specific sports planning that you would get every day in your technical training practice with your coaches. You're blending both of these things together to get you ready for anything that can happen in your matches and or tournament and or competition. Now, essentially, your coaches get you ready for any type of skill challenge that you may have coming, whether it's a double leg or a single leg or a counter to those skills, or any type of technical, physiological skill that you may come up against, which could be your fitness training, which could be countering various moves, and also any type of obstacle that can come up in your competition, not necessarily related to physical or sport-specific skills, like when the event is going to start, if it started on time or if it started too late. Well, how do we deal with that if it starts too earlier than we expected or later than we expected it to? Distractions from a referee that gives you a bad call. What is the distraction? Well, the referee gave you a bad call. Now you're completely out of focus and you don't know how to get back on focus to take care of what you need to, which is deal with that and then move on. And or any other type of challenge that you may have planned for or not planned for. Well, these are psychological skills, and the performance plan, again, is going to combine all of the physical training that you've done with the psychological skills training that you've done. Essentially, what you would want to do is create a mental preparation routine for any type of upset or challenge or obstacle or adversity that comes up. Now, when you've done that, this is very easy to compete at a high level. Again, the performance plan needs to be practiced every single day in training so that when you get to competition, now you're in a much better situation to perform at a high level, or what I like to call high performance training. Performance planning summary. Again, it's a culmination and a combination of all of the skills training that we're using with a little more focus on some areas I'll talk about here. We've had slideshows that encompass self-talk, focus, imagery, goals, and energy management, which essentially is managing your stress levels and energy levels so that when things come up, you either know how to pump yourself up or get yourself lower to relax so that you can compete at a high level. And what all of these skills are going to do combined is help you control distractions when they do come up. Stay in the moment if you get too much caught in the past or too much caught in the future. And examples of both of those would be, well, if I wrestle this guy, then I wrestle that guy, then I wrestle in the finals before the tournament's even started. A lot of times that can increase your stress level, and you may not necessarily be focused on what you need to be focused on, so you're not staying in the moment. So now you're thinking about something that can happen 4 or 5 rounds later and you haven't even wrestled your first match. Well, that'll get your focus out of control. This may distract you, and now you may not wrestle your best match just because you're too far focused in the future. Or you could stay focused in the past, where that person that you wrestled the last time, he headlocked you and he pinned you in the first 30 seconds. Those thoughts don't need to necessarily be going right through your head right before you wrestle. And if we're focused on things that we do not need to be focused on when we're trying to compete at a high level and or train, now this is where all of these psychological skills trainings can come to bear, where once we've mastered these things, we know how to get ourselves where we need to be psychologically by telling ourselves these are things that we're going to do to stay in control and in focus when we're thinking about something that's in the past. Okay, now we've designed a plan for when that comes up. When this happens, I actually start thinking about this to get me right back on focus, which could necessarily be imagery, or you could be staying focused on your goals. And I guess we haven't talked about that last little corner of that pie there, the goal of best effort and satisfaction. Sometimes, if you've done everything that we're talking about with all of these high-performance training ideas and psychological skills training, if you've done everything in your effort, which would be, what I'm calling 100%, you should be satisfied with that. And win, lose, or draw, you should be satisfied with giving your best effort in anything that you're doing, if it's sport-related or not. The challenge sometimes comes when we have not given our best effort. And when we have not given our best effort, now that's when we need to, isolate what our strengths are, what our weaknesses are, always trying to enhance our strengths and always trying to get our weaknesses to become our strengths. In that way, you've increased your chances of high performance training, which is going to encompass performance planning. Overtime School of Wrestling, psychological skills training, performance planning, acknowledgments. All of the information presented in a slideshow was derived from the United States Ski and Snowboard Association Elite Performance Series Sports Psychology in 2004. And I just kind of want to wrap up all of these slideshow presentations brought to you by the Overtime School of Wrestling by suggesting that at the beginning of and end of each slideshow, you can get all the information with regard to our website, which is overtimewrestling.com, our social media, which we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, and you can look at each individual handle after the / and go right to those places to find out more information about the Overtime School of Wrestling. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can by dialing in sgillespie@overtimewrestling.com. And finally, I would just like to reiterate, reemphasize that psychological skills training needs to go right along with your sports-specific skills training. In other words, everything that you're doing in practice every single day with your technical and physical and fitness training, you need to blend, you need to combine. They need to be a part of your psychological skills training too. In other words, you're working on the psychological skills training every single day in practice. And another way that you could actually do that outside of practice is review these presentations on a weekly and or a daily basis. They're about 15 or 20 minutes in length. So I think if you spend 15 to 20 minutes a day on psychological skills training consistently, deliberately, on purpose, you will become a much better athlete and you will be able to perform at a much higher level. Again, what I'm calling high performance training. Thank you.